Hey, hey, welcome, welcome. If you are joining live, let me know what your book is that you're currently working on or your most recent release. And if you're watching on replay, put in the chat #replay. Today, we're going to be talking about why I chose to include a unique idea of a private podcast with my current book launch and pre order. And so let me pop it up on the screen for y'all. Let's see. Okay, let me move it over. So for this is, let me make it a little smaller. This is going to be my newest release. Notice this is not the real cover. This is a display cover for purposes of demonstration. But I'm doing this because I am wanting to show folks the minimum viable option, meaning the fastest way to get paid, and not in a like salesy or not in a schemy way, but in the sense of often we can put a lot of blockages and barriers in the way in order to get to profit. And it's something where you're able to really sell an idea ahead of time. Of course, you need to meet and complete the idea, but it's something where often I work with authors and we tend to overthink things. And I say we because sometimes I do it myself as well. But I wanted to say, okay, let me go ahead and assess the demand. Let me go ahead and put this out there because I am currently working on it. I'm in the drafting stage right now, and I will be moving on to editing very soon. But with my pre-order campaign, I am including a couple different really unique ideas, and I want to explain why for one of them. And so one of them is the private podcast that's over here on this direction. Everything's backwards, but this private podcast is something I'm really excited about, and it's called Pop and Pre-Sales. And so the way that I'm structuring it is everyone who pre-orders a copy of my book, that will be on the same topic as the pre-order. So this is a very, let me explain this. So essentially my book is about helping authors pre-sell their books, and I'm pre-selling my book on the topic. So follow me. Okay. The podcast will be about how I am organizing my pre order to do that. And so, doing it this way is a great way for me to kind of reflect, to take time to really think through and explain the process. And when I say this way, I mean the podcast. Doing it this way is a way for me to think through, explain, and also share with my audience to be able to show different unique ideas of what you can include in your pre-order and your launch in general. But also it helps me to be able to think in the moment in terms of not waiting until I'm complete with my book launch to then try to remember and reflect back then, but really process things and to be able to support my book purchasers, because anybody that purchases the book on pre-order gets access to the podcast. That's the only way that it's available currently. And it's something where it's a really unique way for people to kind of be a fly on the wall, for people to get a behind the scenes look at the design of my pre-order, because I'm starting from the basics in terms of the marketing side of things. And so if you are familiar with me, then you might have heard, or you might have even participated in the pre-order profits challenge that I did a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. And so that was also a part of my pre-order. And I was very intentional about how I marketed with that and also how I'm tying that into the book, because in essence, it's going to be a part that I can include in the book as a point of reference. And it was a free challenge, but people were still able to get results from it. And there's people who have started their book launches, who have opened up their pre-orders while they were in the challenge with me. And so I probably will have to run that back in the spring because people either missed it or they were in it and they were like, okay, I was getting some great results from this. And so, say all that to say, those are two unique experiences that I'm providing for my customer, for my reader, that they can, one, experience me before they commit to, for the challenge, experience me before they commit to purchasing the book, but also to be able to get a win and also to be able to have an idea of what to expect. And so mapping that out was something that was very helpful for me, but I wanted to also include that thought process in some kind of way. And so that's one reason why I'm doing the private podcast. And it's a pop-up podcast, so that means there's only going to be 10 episodes. It's not something that's ongoing. And I did that because just for me in this stage of my life, the capacity that I have right now, I don't have I don't have the capacity to do, or really the desire to do ongoing podcasts at this point. If it's something that folks ask me about moving forward after they like this one, then I'll consider it. However, it just has to make sense in terms of my overall goals and within my structure of my business. And so doing a short-term podcast is a great way for me to be able to reach folks within a targeted short period of time. And I can, of course, still use it after the 10 weeks, after the 10 episodes are done, as a bonus for folks. I could sell it if I wanted to. Right now, it's free with the purchase of the pre order copy of the book, and you can grab yours at book.preorderprofits.com. And I'll put that in the description of this video or in the comments. And so it's something that I've created another asset that I can use in a variety of ways to be able to reach more folks. And for example, I could also even make it so that I'm able to share individual episodes, and I probably will do that as well as like a teaser. That could be a lead magnet even, or a reader magnet. So often authors think, and I always hesitate when I say that because I'm an author too, but I'm sharing things that I don't think because I know that I see other authors before me who aren't quite grasping or aren't quite seeing it that way. So I'm an author too, but authors frequently think that your lead magnet has to be something that's like a PDF or a copy of the book or something that is like a digital download created in Canva. And we really have to open up our minds and understand that that's not the case. It doesn't always have to be something that is just a cute Canva thing. It can be something that helps your reader to get a certain result, which it should be. But it can be something that's a digital file. It can be a video. It can be a video series. It doesn't have to be something that's just so cookie cutter and so I don't want to say unoriginal because there's nothing wrong with those if they work. But anything you can do to help your book stand out, to make your book something that's top of mind, or to make you top of mind amongst the 4 million other books that are released in that year, because that's how many are released a year, then it's a good thing. And so doing this private podcast is something that I'm experimenting with and trying. And within the podcast, I'm also taking suggestions from people who have pre-ordered the book for future episodes. And so if you've already pre-ordered the book, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Or if you're in the accelerator, which is the Pre-Order Profits Accelerator, that's my 8-week group coaching program where I walk authors through how to how to sell their book through pre-orders and cover their publishing costs. If you are a part of that, then they also got access to the podcast as well as tons of other goodies as well. And so the feedback that I'm getting has been wonderful. The first episode just released recently, and so the feedback that I'm getting has been great. And so it's something where I want to encourage you to adjust your understanding and adjust your expectation that it has to be a certain way. Because as a self-published author, that's part of the beauty of being a self-published author. You can do whatever you want to do to some degree, of course. But when it comes with your marketing, you have the ability to be creative. You have the ability to be able to do something you've never seen before. And this is something that I haven't seen before. And not that I've seen every single book launch, but I haven't seen something like this accompanied with a book release. And it's something that I'm already getting a great bit of feedback from for the people who have already tapped into it. And so sharing that and also encouraging you to check out the option to be able to have access. Sorry, I lost my words. I want to encourage you to go ahead and gain access to the podcast so you can listen in real time and so you can give suggestions for topics of episodes. And so in order to do that, all you have to do is grab a pre-order copy of my book, and you can do that at book.preorderprofits.com. And additionally, it's something where when you are consuming content and when you are looking at the things that I'm sharing, once you grab your copy, and even before as you're watching this, I want you to reverse engineer it, but in the terms of consuming content as an author who is focused on their marketing. So not necessarily consuming content as a consumer or consuming content as a reader, but consuming content as someone who is focused on what exactly it is that you are going to be able to do within your own marketing. Hopefully that makes sense. So instead of just being like, okay, I'm going to binge, 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 I'm going to spend time on social media, I'm going to watch this video, I want you to consider, okay, what kind of things are being used? What kind of things can I glean from this? What kind of things do I know I don't want to do that? And how can I make this my own unique? How can I do this in my own unique way? So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Let me know if you have questions about the pre-order process. And if you missed the accelerator, but you would still like access to the matching course, then that's still available. And I'll put that link in the description or comments for this as well. Have a good one.